Civil war is inevitable in Britain. It's just a question of when.
If raising legitimate concerns about thousands and thousands of unchecked foreign males illegally entering our country makes me far right, then so be it.
So you might be thinking, what's Elon Musk talking about when he says something like that? That's quite a bold statement. You know, what could possibly lead him down that line of thinking to come to that possible conclusion that civil war is literally inevitable in the UK? Well, I'll lead you down a little path, and maybe you guys can let me know at the end whether you agree with Musk or not. You see, at the moment on Twitter or X, the only things that you can really find on my timeline is things talking about this random guy called Danny Kruger. He's a Reform UK member now. Like he was former Conservative. He's gone. I don't know who he is. I don't give a shit. No one cares. Anyway, so he's gone over to Reform UK. Apparently that's a big story, a massive story. And of course, everyone's still talking about how white people are overreacting and actually we're super racist, with jokes being made about how we need to see more meerkats on TV because they're underrepresented too. Funny. You know, another meme, Derek was furious. Not one TV advert all evening had included an angry middle-aged sofa-bound racist. Wow. So apparently, again, we're a bunch of racists because nothing happens to us, right? Nothing happens to us, guys. Absolutely nothing. Dr. Shola Moss, whatever the fuck that name is, guys. Right, she's saying white people do not experience any racism at any structural or systematic level of society. White race created racism for the benefit of white people to deny black and brown people an equal value of life and liberty. Caucasity? What the of claiming a false equivalence of racial oppression is whiteness personified. You're a barefaced liar. She went on further to say that she would make an exception with the death penalty, hoping that Rupert Law would be selected first. I think that's a little bit... Never mind, she's probably right. White people do not experience any racism at all in any structural or systemic level of society. While at the same time, you've probably seen this, guys, a white guy, a white street cleaner, walking his dog, gets stabbed by this Afghan, brutally stabbed in the street, along with another person who has life-changing injuries and a 14-year-old boy. All because they're white, and Afghani decided to kill them. But again, right, according to this bitch, white people do not experience any kind of racism or structural or systemic level of society. This scene here, which is now symptomatic of the ongoing aggression and violence against the working class English race, is, I think, a counterpoint to that argument. I think this is a brutal counterpoint to that argument. And once again, guys, this is something that happens regularly now. This is happening all the time, and I'm getting sick of it. I'm getting sick of these ethnicities coming out in my own country and telling me to shut up for critiquing the level of diversity on a TV show or on TV adverts, all the while saying that we do not ever experience any kind of racism while white people are getting slaughtered in the streets.
Confirming to us that the suspect, well, sources now confirming to us that the suspect, the 22-year-old man who is in custody on suspicion of murder and attempted murder following this triple stabbing here, is an Afghan national. We're waiting to get more confirmation from the Home Office on his status in terms of whether he is an asylum seeker, someone who was here on the Afghan relocation scheme. Well, sources now...
Well, it turns out that he was an asylum seeker, another asylum seeker that decided that for some reason he really wanted to go around stabbing white people. But again, you know, there's no systemic racism against whites. We can't possibly take any kind of criticism any kind of criticism against the imports or the diversity hires or the people flooding in our country, that is completely evil and terrible, and we should just shut our mouths.
Oh, I live in the borough right next to Hillingdon.
Yep.
And I moved into my house in 2019. My local shop, there's been 3 stabbings, 1 murder since then.
Wow.
My friend was murdered last year up on the high street. Girl I know was murdered in Southall Park. The government are failing us. I'm so scared for my children. I have a 22-year-old son, and I'm begging him to move out of the country.
Oh my goodness, I feel for you.
What are these politicians doing to us?
They know exactly what they're doing, guys. They know exactly what they're doing. They are allowing these people into the country. They're taking our hard-earned taxes and paying for them to stay here in hotels that they happen to locate right next to primary schools. They allow these people out to wander around instead of keeping them inside. They know that they're terror threats. They have access to knives. They have access to weapons. They are a national security threat that they're placing on the doorstep of local communities, vulnerable communities. They know exactly what they're doing. This cannot be an accident. It cannot be an accident because everything is orchestrated to do exactly what is happening. This is exactly what I would do if I wanted this to happen. This is exactly what I would do. Think about it, guys. It's probably exactly what you would do as well. How do you cause the most fear, tension, civil strife, unease, anxiety? How do you stress people out to the point of breaking? Well, a good way to do that is to bring in people that hate them, people that hate our country, hate our society, and place all those people in Operation Scatter, that's what it's called, in Operation Scatter around the country, in residential areas, vulnerable areas, right next to schools. That's gonna do it. That is going to do it. And of course, you just let them go wherever they want, and they have weapons, and you never arrest them. When you do arrest them, you don't deport them. They just straight back out on the streets. That is a pretty good way to make people go mental. I think so anyway. So Keir Starmer, obviously Keir Starmer came out in light of this and said how terrible it was and how this is a stain on the UK, and that as the Prime Minister of this country, with the love of this country, he's going to do... No, he didn't do any of that. No, he did fuck all. Keir Starmer has literally not mentioned it once. Here's his timeline. Nothing. The only thing he's talking about is Reform UK. He wants to take down Reform UK and continue his project of national renewal. Now, remember when the Muslims burned their own mosque? Keir Starmer came out within a couple of hours, said it was horrendous, said it was racist, even though it was a Muslim that done it, and then gave them £10 million and had a meeting with them and everything. Keir Starmer hasn't even mentioned this. Not a single thing, not a single tweet. This is a man that hates this country, hates the people of this country, and doesn't care when they get slaughtered in the street.
Stop that.
Shabana Mahmood, guess what she came out and said?
Immigration enforcement is stepping up across the country with enforcement action like I've seen today. For years, it has been too easy to enter this country and disappear into the illegal economy.
That's exactly what just happened. She's not talking about the incident, by the way. This is just a random video that she's probably made quite a while ago. As you can see, these things take a while to make. They've got to write the scripts and do everything. She's released this just after the stabbing, a few hours later or something like this. It's got nothing to do with the actual stabbing. This is just her saying, we know that like the country's fucked, and we know that it's our fault, but we promise it's not my fault, and I'm doing everything I can to stop the problem. Meanwhile, they actually knew all along that this guy was a terror threat. They've known for over a year. So she's known for over a year. Remember, she was the Secretary of State. That's a pretty important job. You have very close interactions and briefings with MI5 and all the security agencies. She knows that this guy was a terror threat. She didn't deport him. She didn't do anything. She let this man go into the streets of London and stab a man to death, maim another man, and stab a 14-year-old boy. So when Elon Musk says civil war in Britain is inevitable, well, I can't really argue with that, can you? See you later, guys.